bring out students who are completely crushing it. They've gone through NEPQ, gone through the training, they're getting massive results. And the reason why we do that is because we want each of you to be inspired that once you learn the right skills, it doesn't matter where you are right now. Once you learn the right questions to ask, once you learn the right time to ask those, once you understand the right tonality and you understand the sales process and how selling changed, you literally can go from ground zero, which I was. When I first got into selling in the year 2000, I'm that old, I struggled so much that I almost quit. And if I hadn't learned the right skills, I wouldn't be here with you guys today. Me and Joseph wouldn't be here. And I know Joseph has a similar story that when he started, it wasn't like he, just tore it up the first day and just, was making all this money, right?
No, not all, Coach.
Yeah. So I want to introduce everybody. This is Joseph Rowberry, and Joseph has some big results. So Joseph averages between $80,000 and $100,000 a month in commissions. Okay, that's not a salary, that's in commissions. That's per month. That's not yearly, that's per month. But here's what I want you to understand. He didn't start that way. He started from ground zero, right? So tell us a little bit, how did you get involved in sales, Joseph, back in the day?
I by default, not kind of tough for a 6'1" white guy to make it into the NBA. Go figure.
Okay.
That's the true answer.
Okay, so you were in sports, you got into sales. What was your first gig? What were you doing?
Oh my gosh, I got dropped off in Detroit, Michigan, selling alarms. I did a home security summer. It was like 2002. It was crazy. And I was terrible. I was so bad, Coach.
Okay.
My cousin got me into it. I had a work ethic because, like, growing up in Idaho, and I had a work ethic and I was coachable. But that was it. Like, I literally get made fun of to this day by people about how terrible my pitch was.
Yeah. So you got hired as a door-to-door salesperson selling alarm systems. That first summer you went out, there was a summer program. That's kind of where I started. I got my first job selling door-to-door. We actually met each other, I think, in 2002 and 2003. And then in 2017, we meet each other again when you got involved in our training. But you struggled. How when you say you struggled, like, what was going on? Your pitch was bad. What was happening on the doors?
Nothing good. Nothing good.
Okay.
I had a natural, I can connect with people. I have fun with people. I did not understand. And my cousin that brought me out there, he was like a natural. So he didn't really know what worked and what didn't work. And so it was tough. Like, it was insane hours, work ethic, hoping somebody would let me in. I had no idea what was working, what was not working. Just grit. So
you started making some sales. You survived. You didn't do that well. And then what happened at that point? You're like, man, selling sucks. I'm out of sales. Like, I'm getting out of here.
At the end of the summer, I did. I was like, no, I don't like this. Not for me. I worked really hard. Didn't have much to show for it. And
yeah, you worked that whole summer, didn't hardly make any money. So you're like, dude, I'm out of here.
Seriously. If I had enough money to go home, I would have. That's how bad it was.
So you had no money, you were rock bottom, and that was after like 5 months. So I want each of you to imagine where you're at right now and look at where Joseph was at. So Joseph now makes $80,000 to $100,000 a month in commissions. Back in 2002, when he got his first sales job, he was hardly making anything. And he quit his first sales job because he didn't know what to do. He didn't have the right skills. All right, so you came back, you quit, you got out of it for a while. Then you came back in, when? Like maybe 3 or 4 years later, you got another sales job, or what happened?
No, it was a little bit later. I had like a short stint working in the wilderness with like troubled teens for like, 4 or 5 years. And then I served like this little mission for my church. And so I didn't get back into sales till it was about 2011, 2012.
Okay, so you went on a mission for the church. Me too as well. We go to the same church. You got into like a completely new job, wilderness therapy, so you're not selling. And you come back from your mission for the church and you're like, hey, I'm going to get into sales again? What happened?
It's hard to get a girl to take you serious when you don't make any money, man. When you're making $75 a day, that doesn't really cut it. But I can make it though.
So you got you got this job, and what were you selling? You got into the solar industry, right?
Yeah, that was in like 2012. That's like Vivint Solar's very first office out in good old Pine Brook, New Jersey. And it was me and a couple of cousins who were doing alarms. We literally just stopped doing alarms, moved out to Jersey, and then started selling the sun.
Okay, so you started selling the sun. What was selling like for you? Like, what type of training were you going through at that time about how to sell solar door to door? Like, what were you learning?
Nothing. Nobody at that time. First of all, nobody knew how to. Very few people even know how to sell, let alone solar, because it was so new. And it was work ethic. Like literally, like the attrition was over 80%. Like,
okay, so you would make a sale, they would sign up, but then 80% of them would never get installed because they basically canceled before the technician got there to install them.
Yes.
What was going on in your mind at that point?
It's just a circle, hamster wheel. It's not going anywhere. Like you feel good because you're throwing down a bunch of sales, but like just because it was high pressure tactics, you can get in the house, you can sign them up, and then leave. And in the moment that you're out the house, like phone call, cancel, it's just like, come on.
Yeah, so you were taught these high pressure techniques that are typical in most sales companies or really most sales books. You would make some sales, but because of the pressure, most would just cancel and they would never get installed, so you never got paid. What was going on in your mind at that time? Now, I know you were making decent money, even doing it that way, but you were working a lot of hours.
Yeah, I was putting in time. I definitely was putting time is an understatement. Most people don't put enough time on the doors.
Yeah.
Literally, like there wasn't a day where I wasn't on the doors already by 9 a.m. and there wasn't a night I didn't get back before 9 p.m.
So you're working 9 in the morning till 9 at night, 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, because I know you're one of our inner circle students. I've heard this before. Now you were making decent money doing that. You were making what, 15 grand a month or something like that, a little bit more?
Yeah, 15 to 20 grand.
So you're averaging 15 to 20,000 a month. So you're making a $200,000 a year income. Most salespeople are like, wow, that is awesome. Like that, if you're making 200,000 a year, that is the best thing since sliced bread. But what was going on internally with you at that time?
I've fallen off. I call it a one-dimensional douchebag, if you want to be real about it. I could do one thing, that was it. I came home, there wasn't anything left to give. Like relationships, close relationships.
Yeah.
It suffered, and even some came to an end. Like,
yeah. So you're working 12 to 13 hours a day, Monday through Saturday. You have no life. You're making, let's say, 15, 18, 20,000 a month in commissions. And then somehow, like what shifted in your mind where you're like, hey, maybe I should learn something new? Like what shifted in your mind? So when you saw the training here, or how did you even find this? This was probably what, 3-some years ago or so.
Yeah, I think you had something on Facebook, and I remember signing up for some short thing. I don't know if it was like a 7-day challenge or 21-day challenge, something like that.
Yeah.
I remember the first thing that I remember, it was your just the appointment setting script. And I literally, that was the only thing I memorized. And just from that one thing, I was like getting crazy results. Just like, hey, with your permission, Mr. Jones, I'd like to suggest as the next step is that we, put together a proposal to see if this is something that could actually work for you. Because to be frank, I'm not quite sure we could. Would that be appropriate? And like the whole feel like changed. Like my appointments were obviously sticking, and I was getting compliments from them for not being pushy. There was like a different feel, and that was just memorizing one thing.
So you started to get into NEPQ. You got our basic course. You started going through the virtual training. You started seeing results immediately because people started to open up to you. Whereas before you were push, and they would push back. Now you were learning certain questions to get them to pull you in.
Yeah, and I'm not a pushy person. That's not my personality. I hate that, and I wanted to never be that. But at the same time, there was things that I was doing that was putting that type of pressure on them. Had no clue. I'm like, what in the world's going on here? And I was causing. I was putting pressure on them every which way. It was crazy.
Yeah, because you don't know what you don't know, right? So you start to go through NEPQ, you're like, wow, people are starting to open up to me. What changed? I know your income went up drastically even before you got into our Inner Circle program, where it then skyrocketed. But tell us a little bit about, what was changing in your mind? Like how did selling start to become for you?
It was cool because there was a different feel on the doorsteps. Right when I got into it, like I understood the psychology of it. Like I was listening to it, like in the car, I was listening to it. Like there wasn't a time where I wasn't listening to it. So I understood it, didn't have it down though, like available onto my tongue. So like I understood, so I could like come across like sincere, could come across like genuinely like detached, and just by that, like my sales started. My gosh, like they started increasing quite a bit.
Yeah. I know you went from like 15 to 20 grand a month up to like 30 and 40 grand a month. Basically your sales numbers like doubled within like, I want to say like 3 months or something, if I remember right. So, okay. So you're selling solar, you're working hard, you're going crazy, you're pushy, people are canceling left and right. You're still working 9 hours, 12 hours a day. You're making 15 grand a month, which is great. But you had no life. You're working Monday through Saturday. Life is not very fun for Joseph, right? You get into NEPQ, just the basic course, your income doubles. What happened to your work hours?
Oh my gosh. I started hitting the gym again. started exercising again. Could actually work like a regular, like 8-hour day. What was cool, there was a different feel. There's a different feel, like the dread. The dread wasn't there. Like it didn't matter who knocked on the door. Like you start to become like a lion tamer. You need to change this whole thing to lion tamers. Is what.
You started thinking more about becoming a problem finder and problem solver rather than just trying to sell them something. That takes the pressure out. That takes the pressure out of the conversations. People open up to you, and then boom, your income doubles. You go from 15 grand a month to like 30 to 35,000 a month in commissions, selling door to door. Okay, now that's really great. And most of those people at that point would think like, oh my gosh, I am the greatest in the world. I'm making 350,000 a year. I don't need to learn anything else. I see so many salespeople that make 6 figures that have the largest egos, and their egos hold them back from learning more advanced skills to double that or triple that, selling the same thing. So you then came into our advanced Inner Circle program where we wrote out your sales structure with you. So you weren't, in the previous course, you were using some of the questions. We didn't know how to quite piece everything together. So we pieced everything together with you. We worked it out. We listened to some of your recordings. We role play. And then what type of results did you start getting from that point?
Oh, that was bananas. That's when it was fun. Like the numbers were insane. Like the different feel on the door. And what the coolest thing is to be able to take a rep in, never done door to door before, in a market that people would say like one of the toughest to sell in, and to just flip them is what we like to call it when they come out just aggressive, and to have a guy that's knocking doors for a week to be able to say is cool, and you can just see him light up like
So you started training your reps, and let me read something that you posted the other day. I thought this was so incredible what you said. You posted this in the Facebook group a while back. You said, I run an office, because now you have salespeople, you're managing them. I run an office, and within 2 months, so within 60 days of exposing them heavily, now you've been through my advanced program. We have the sales structures written out. We have everything done. You know what to do. With you exposing them to NEPQ with your reps in your office, you had an increase just from your reps of 313%. So you basically, that's more than what, that's quadrupling. I don't know, 5xing. I don't even know what that is, which led to your office revenue more than tripling, and your personal income hit 7 figures. So you made $1 million. Okay. I'm blown away at how fast that happened. This really works. Well, probably does, I would say by now, right? So tell me, so you start training your salespeople, because after you go through my advanced program, you know what to do, right? You've got the sales structure written out. You know exactly what to do. You know the tonality. We tweak everything as we go for that six month or 1 year period where you're like on fire. Your income gets up to $80,000 a month in commissions. Some months you're hitting even $100,000 a month in commissions. What's going on in your mind now?
Well, it's the hardest thing for a new rep is when it comes to door is the smokescreen objections.
Yeah.
Like that's the hardest thing for people to get over on the doorstep is smoke screens. What is crazy is when you use the NEPQ and you say it with the right tonality, you don't get smokescreen objections. So imagine bringing new reps on, they're not even getting smokescreen objections, which is the hardest part, when it comes to a new rep. And then once they're able to see the fruits of their labors, oh my God, like they're motivated out of their brains and they can just go. And I knew that you had obviously done door to door before, and I understood it, but I wanted to this needs to get applied to solar. Like I know the questions, but not with solar. So combining it with the solar game set match. Yeah.
So you come in our Inner Circle program. What Joseph's talking about is we tie NEPQ into what you actually sell. And in a group, we write out your sales structures with you to make sure that the questions are tied into what you sell, industry specific. It's not generalized. Okay. Once you know that, well, everything opens up, right?
It's a different feel.
Yeah. What do you mean by a different feel?
To go from just working and hoping that you find a layup, or just hoping someone's just cool to have a conversation, to be able to open up with anybody, like literally anybody, like the tonality, how the human, you're not worried who's behind the door. Yeah. And to not have to settle for like low-hanging fruit.
Yeah. So now most people are low-hanging fruit because you've learned the right questions, NEPQ, tied into your industry, which you sell solar now, in our advanced program where we do that. And now you get tons of layup sales. They're not just like one every other day or one a day maybe, or one every week. Like you're getting them consistently every day, day in and day out. Now, instead of working from 9 a.m. till 9 p.m, from what you told me, you cut your work hours in half.
Yeah. Work hours in half. Can focus on other areas of life, building other things. But, So
now you have a life. You can maybe meet somebody because you got to get married one of these days, dude. Your age is catching up with you, man. So you can have a relationship. You're working 6-7 hours a day or so instead of 14. How is it for you now?
Oh, it's completely different. Literally life-changing. And not just the lifestyle, but with the way I communicate with everybody in general. Just catching myself assuming I know, what they mean, and just my communication with. So lifestyle is obviously a plus, but to be able to communicate with everyone at a different level.
Where do you think you'd be right now as a salesperson had you not gone through the training?
I would have not been in sales. I would have probably been some meathead douchebag gym trainer getting paid $10 an hour. It'd be not good.
Okay. All right. So definitely a good move on your part. Okay, good. I love this, man. And ever since you started making this type of income, I'm assuming other people are trying to recruit you. I'm assuming there's a lot of opportunities out there for you that might not have been available before. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. When it comes to, I love the solar industry. Like it has my heart. It really has. Everybody wins with it. And so I just do my own little thing right now, like I love helping out people. People are like, hey, just say this, and they literally like shoot a customer a text, and the guy that didn't respond to him for 2 months literally hit him back, set an appointment, closed them, and he's giving them referrals now. Like that's like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah. So you're also using NEPQ in your text messages and your emails, and you've got new reps you're training now with NEPQ that are using it, that have no experience, that are starting on the right foot, and they're completely crushing it. How does that make you feel?
Oh, I love it. a great pleasure in life is doing things others say you can't do. Because it's like door to door is tough, especially like in a saturated market, whatever. But I'm like, dude, come to one meeting. And then,
so you're in an industry completely saturated. You're selling in Las Vegas, very saturated with what you do. Yet you make $100,000 a month as a salesperson. Because I hear that all the time from salespeople in different industries, like, oh, you don't know, like my market's so saturated. Like every salesperson says that. But when you learn the right skills and the right questions to ask that no other salespeople are asking those prospects, you stand out completely and you become, in your prospect's mind, what we call a trusted authority rather than just another salesperson who's trying to sell them something. See how that works?
It is. And what's cool is because I had to work so hard for it. Like literally, like coming back to like how I grew up, not into sales. Like I literally had to take speech lessons in second grade. Like that's how embarrassing this is. It's like that's how bad it is. So it feels so cool to be able to be in a market like that and to have that customer initiating the next steps in the process. But I know I did my job right when they're saying, so what's the next steps?
How is that for you now, where the prospect, when you're at their door and inside their house, are saying, okay, so Joseph, how do we get started now? Like, what's the next step? Rather than you trying to assume the sale and force it on them, praying and hoping that night that they don't cancel.
Like I had one a couple weeks ago. There's a nuclear engineer, obviously a lot smarter than mine. And he's like, okay, so what's the next steps from here? I'm just like, try to control my grin. I got the worst poker face. My God. I love that. Better poker face. There's no excuses.
I love that, man. And that's why I wanted you to come on here, because I know your story, how you struggled so much as a salesperson when you first got started 17, 18 years ago. And, you eventually learned some skills. You got up to $15,000 a month in commission. That's really, really good for most salespeople. Like, I'm the best in the world. But then you're like, you know what? I need to get better. Like, why did you take that leap? Like most salespeople who make $15,000 a month would think like, I don't need any more training. I know everything. Like, why did you want to take that leap and say like, hey, maybe I don't know everything. Maybe I need to learn more skills to get me to a higher level. Why did you take that leap?
The money didn't come from the skill set. The money came from the work ethic.
You were busting your butt to make that.
Yeah. I had no idea why they signed up, why they didn't sign up. I would just talk. I would assume the sell. I'd bring up the solution way too early in the conversation. I didn't know how to listen. I wasn't bringing up any pain, like none, zero, And so the amount of work that it took to get it was not worth it.
Yeah, you were just working 14 hours a day to make that. So you get involved in NEPQ, your hours reduce in half. You go down to 6 or 7 hours. Your income doubles within like the first 3 months. You're now making like $35,000 a month in commissions. Then you decide, I want to learn even more advanced skills. You get in our Inner Circle program. We write out your sales structure with you. We tie it into what you sell specifically. We tweak everything. You have access to Unboxer where you're asking me questions every week. And then boom, you go to 80 to 100,000 a month in commissions. I just want to say well done and congratulations first and foremost. I'm really proud of you.
No, thank you. It was so huge having you on Voxer. It was insane because I'm like, the customer said this. I sent him a recording and you could like pause it right there. Like, Joseph, you see like customer said this, you didn't probe deeper. Like you rushed with your solution. I'm like, oh my gosh, I wasn't even realizing that. And you made me wear a rubber band. I had to snap myself every time I did.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, if you bring up your solution before this, you have to snap your wrist. So it's like starting to hurt.
Yeah, I had bruises all over. I should press charges.
I love that, man.
No, love to.
I love that. Okay, so all right. Sorry, my internet's not very good. I'm at my lake house today. It's internet's not so, it's choppy down here, man, by the water. All right. What advice would you give for anybody listening? Like maybe somebody that's like, you know what, maybe I should get into NEPQ. Maybe I should have, Jeremy and his team start training me. Like maybe I should learn more advanced skills. What would be your advice? I mean, is that something that you feel would help them like double, triple their income, or what would be your advice?
I can't think of a better investment, period, hands down. Like your future self will thank you. You need to invest in you. You need to make yourself more valuable to the marketplace. Yeah. And there's not a better set of skills to do that. Regardless, it doesn't matter what you do. There's not a better skill set to have, and there's no better content out there, period. No one's going to get them to open up. The tonality, the questions, the genuine connection, them selling themselves, the zero pressure. You stand out so different, but not even on the doorstep or in the living room, just like in life, like just how you communicate. Like you get so much more information. Like if there's a competitor, there's no competitor. Nobody knows more information about that customer than me.
You see how that works when you learn NEPQ and you learn how to tie it in to what you sell. You really don't have any competitors. People don't be like, oh, I'm going to check out this company or this company over there. Like they really don't even bring it up because they are so emotionally involved from your question skills that they only view you as the person who's going to solve their problems and get them to where they want to go. They don't even think about anybody. It doesn't even matter the price points. They're going to do it because they look at you with that undenying trust because of your questioning ability. That's where it is.
I'm a lot more too. They can go somewhere else. You know more about the situation than anybody else. In their eyes, you're the only person that can literally help them out. Nobody knows more about them. Logically, and also emotions. When you get the emotions, they're tied to you.
I love it, Joseph. I think that's great. All right. So, Joseph, thanks for being on here. Such a great thing for you to be in here. I'm so proud of you, first and foremost. Proud to know you, to be able to train you one-on-one in the time we've been able to spend together. Like, I couldn't think of a better person to interview today.
No, thank you so much. Seriously, I owe you so much. Anytime.
Yeah, and guys, if you're wanting to learn these same type of skills that Joseph has learned from our Inner Circle Advanced program, we have people here to help you. You know, we've got member success specialists, Buckley, Kelsey, we've got Matt, you know, here, our director of sales training. We've got William, our account advisor, and NEPQ events advisor. All you got to do is just go #ditch the pitch. So if you want to learn these type of skills to get results like Joseph is getting and all of our other students who are going through our training program, just click on hashtag or post #ditch the pitch. #ditch the pitch, and we'll have Buckley or somebody message you and see if we can get you some details to see if we can help you too. Yeah. Any thoughts, Joseph?
Yeah, they need to do it. Like, I guarantee you'll learn something today that you'll make a sell on today, like straight up. And then when it comes to mastering this, like one thing that I wish I would have done, like memorize one question a day. One question a day. Like that's it. One question a day. And master it. Like there's different levels of having it. For you to be able to have it on the tip of the tongue when you need it, you have to really, really have it down. So I'm always listening to it all the time, but I memorize one question a day. And a month from now, you'll be blown away.
One question a day, baby. I love it, man. Joseph, all right. So I don't want to take up your time. I know you're going into the office today to probably make $5,000 to $8,000 in commissions just today. So I don't want to take that away from you. So thanks for being on here, and we'll bring you out here again sometime so everybody can listen to you. I love your story. It's so inspirational.
No, thank you. I sincerely thank you. I really appreciate it.
All right, everybody. Be good. I'll talk to you later. Everybody else, we'll see you. Thank you. Hey guys, if you enjoyed these, here's another you can watch right over here, Join our free Sales Revolution group. Click the link below, join us, and we're going to help you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you real soon.